G'day, it's Hayden here from MyBottleShop.com.au. Today we've got Daniel, who's the New South Wales and Queensland State Manager for Sales for Barano's. What we've got here is the Anther Gin range, distilled in Melbourne. Daniel's just going to give us a bit of a rundown of the dry gin to begin with.
It's actually out of Collingwood, for any of you Collingwood supporters. Not a fan of you lot in Sydney. So Anther is one of the new gins out of Melbourne. It's coming from a fantastic couple of people, Seb Rayburn and Derv, his wife. Seb has been in the industry for a long time, back in bars, doing a lot of cocktail stuff. He was in the 42 Blow Cocktail World Cup back in the day, then worked for Bacardi for a while as well, before ditching it all to really take up his passion with his wife. So it's the two of them working on this, producing a gin down in Collingwood. They wanted to create, and really, I mean, this is what Seb is, almost an encyclopedia on spirits and history and that sort of thing. So you can imagine what sort of product he's going to create. Beautiful, beautiful sort of combination of real Australian style gin, but also with the London dry style. So a nice healthy juniper hit up front, which just tapers through to a bunch of different flavours. It's a long gin, it's a complex gin. Interestingly, none of your traditional citruses, so it's just using some of the native finger limes, that sort of thing, to give you citrus elements as well. So beautiful, beautiful product, bottled at 44% ABV. Right there.
Very good. One of the interesting things as well on the back here is the flavour kind of web. I think it's kind of a web of different flavours that are present. So like eucalyptus, finger lime, nutmeg, and there's a bit of a scale as to how much influence each botanical has on the gin, so that's a little interesting point there. The wax sealed and onto the limited release now, 1,040 bottles. You want to tell us about the cherry expression?
Yeah, so Seb and Derv, they work with one particular cherry orchard down in Tasmania who produce these fantastic, quite large black Tasmanian cherries. Interestingly, what went into here, which was about 24,000 cherries, is the only yield from that orchard that makes its way to Australia. Everything else ends up in Asian markets. It's one of those delicacies, that sort of thing. What they want to do is they want to get those cherries as fresh as possible, so get them into the still as quickly as possible. So they actually recruited a whole bunch of volunteers who came down and over the course of, I think it was 2 or 3 days, hand-pitted 24,000 cherries to get them into the still as quickly as possible.
A job, isn't it?
Yeah, quite a job, but worth doing, because the process itself was those cherries went into the still with the gin itself. They've soaked it or macerated it. They've taken out that gin, put some water in to get any of that gin that left was then in the cherries out, and put it together with a bit of sugar. So it's bottled at, this one's at 27% ABV, and what you're going to see is all the beautiful elements of that gin in there combined with those fresh sort of cherry flavours. It'll work fantastically if you treat it as a liqueur. It'll work as a liqueur, so you're thinking stuff like your Negronis and that sort of thing, or if you want to treat it like a gin, put it in your gin and tonics. It'll work really well in your gin and tonic as a gin. Like I say, only one of 1,040, so get your hands on it while you can.
I just kind of nose that one there, and it's quite like a rich cherry flavour, but it's also got the juniper backbone of the standard gin, so it's quite an interesting product. Both available on MyBottleShop.com.au. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks again, Daniel, for coming past today.
My pleasure.
Cheers.